I wanted to talk about Kane Archer tonight. This young man is the cause of a lot of speculation as to where he's going to play football, and there's a little bit of controversy surrounding him. Not in a bad way. This is an outstanding young man, an amazing athlete, so I don't want you to think that, when I say controversy, I'm saying there's an issue with his character or school or anything. This kid is 100. But I wanted to go over some things because I've had a lot of viewers comment and ask me what my thoughts are on Mr. Kane Archer. And I figured that I'd go through a few things and just let you know what's on my mind. So I've got to start out with his stats. So I'm going to pull up, this is the Gatorade Player of the Year page. And each year they award each individual in their respective states the honor of being named the Gatorade Player of the Year for that particular state. I think Mitch Mustaine won it way back when, I think 2005. But it's got him listed as 6'1". This is his junior stats, so they obviously haven't updated it for this year. So this is for last year. But his stats last year, these are video game numbers, people. 3,559 yards, 54 touchdown passes, 1 interception, and an 82.1% completion percentage. Those are NCAA 2014 numbers, or whatever, 2025, 2026. This kid has really lit up some scoreboards in the state of Arkansas. So I did some digging, and we're going to look at his 247 page. So he's listed as 6'1", 205 pounds. That's a little bit undersized for the SEC. I'm not saying by no means that a quarterback under 6'2", 6'3" can't compete at a high level in the SEC. That's not what I'm saying. We've seen it done, and we'll see it happen again. I'm just kind of going through what my thoughts are as I look at his recruiting profile. Do I think this would be a good player for the Hogs? I do. I absolutely do, 100%. I think this is a guy that you've got to get, especially for Ryan Silverfield, as he comes in and tries to bring the Razorbacks back to the people of Arkansas is the way I look at it. Because one thing about Arkansas kids that play for the Razorbacks, they become legends in the state. And not only that, people identify with them and connect with them. And I'm sure it's like this at other places. But Arkansas doesn't produce a lot of high-level Division I athletes. They produce athletes, but, compared to a place like Georgia or Alabama or even Louisiana, usually you have anywhere between 5 to maybe 10 in a good year. But what I wanted to say is, just looking at his scouting profile, he's listed as the number 17th ranked player in the state of Arkansas and the 81st ranked quarterback in the nation. And he has signed with Utah. So a little, from what I've gathered is, Dan Enos, when he was on staff for Sam Pittman, really was after Mr. Kane Archer. Dan Enos has his offensive problems and gets fired midway through the season after an awful game with Mississippi State. So then it kind of goes radio silent for a little while, and then next thing you know, UCF starts to recruit him. I believe Gus Malzahn was there at this time. Gus Malzahn goes to Florida State and is their new offensive coordinator, and in comes Scott Frost. I think that's how you say his name. The Nebraska guy that failed miserably. So things don't end up working out with UCF, and Utah comes in and swoops in and signs the kid. He is signed to play there. Matter of fact, I wanted to pull up. So this is the University of Utah. This is their football roster, their official football roster, and they've got him listed Kane Archer, 6'1", freshman, Greenwood High School, Greenwood, Arkansas. And so they've got a little scouting report, too. It says he was rated a 3-star dual-threat quarterback by both 247 and Rivals after a stellar career at Greenwood. Threw for over 10,000 yards and 125 touchdowns in 4 varsity seasons, leading the Bulldogs to 3 state title games and 2 6A championships. Compiled a 37-0 record as a starter over the last 3 seasons. He was the Gatorade Player of the Year last year. We've already read that. Rivals preseason high school football All-American. He's the first Arkansas player in history to pass for 100 touchdowns and rush for 50 scores in a career. Completed 737 of 977 career passes for 9,947 yards, and we read a bunch of that, and only 12 interceptions. He rushed for 2,600 yards and 54 touchdowns. So he's literally a walking high school highlight reel. That really kind of seals the deal for me as far as. So let me first start off by saying this. I trusted Bobby Petrino and his offensive prowess. If Bobby Petrino didn't want you, I was the type, I felt like, I don't want you. But now that I've sat and I've pondered on this a little bit, Bobby Petrino, I trusted his offensive system. So Bobby Petrino likes a certain type of quarterback to run his system. He's always had tall quarterbacks with a cannon arm that can really throw some bombs. And he's always, since Lamar Jackson, he's favored quarterbacks that are mobile in the pocket. So with that being said, even though Bobby Petrino did not recruit Mr. Kane Archer, I feel like Kane Archer can really contribute to the Razorbacks, especially with the news that came out today that Mr. Grayson Wilson has entered the transfer portal. This one kind of stings a little bit. Now, this is not, I'm going to try to word this carefully, so this is not the end of the world for either parties. Grayson Wilson was rated as a 4-star by ESPN. He's listed as a 3-star on 247, which is what I do the majority of my stats with. I just like to be consistent. Grayson has talent, and he has the ability to one day play in the NFL. I'm not saying he's going to be a first-round draft pick, although he could be. But what I'm saying is, with Grayson transferring, I feel like you really need a quarterback from Arkansas in that locker room. KJ Jackson is obviously going to be the future for now, barring some terrible career-ending injury or a transfer coming in, or Kane Archer coming in and winning the starting role. But Grayson Wilson is transferring, so that leaves only KJ Jackson in that quarterback room that's on scholarship. I can't remember if they've got a walk-on in there or not. I don't believe so. So Tim Cramsey is coming in, and he's installing his offense. So anytime you see that, most of the time you see backup quarterbacks transfer out, especially a player of the caliber of Grayson Wilson, who did a phenomenal job at, I believe, Conway. I think he won a state championship, maybe. Don't quote me on that. A lot of numbers go through my head. But what I'm getting at is Kane Archer makes sense if you're Ryan Silverfield. Now, will Silverfield go after Kane Archer? I'm kind of starting to believe that there's movement on both sides. And none of this has came out officially, but Pigtrail Nation on YouTube, I don't know if any of y'all watch it. I've recommended this video. We're going to pull it up here. So Pigtrail Nation put out a video yesterday, and it's got Peyton Hillis, and I think that's Tracy Dar, maybe? I can't remember his name. But we're going to watch part of this video, and this is what I'm thinking. There's really a push being made on Kane Archer's side to sign with the Razorbacks. But I'll just play the video, and we'll let it speak for itself.
We talked about this a little bit off before, but, I don't don't care about the money. I don't care. And that's like, I don't.
You could be making more money other than Utah, right? There were bigger offers than Utah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about this off, but yeah, like the money's not first for me. Like I want the best opportunity first. And I could have gone to a place where I made a lot more. But I didn't. I want the right program. I want the right place. So I don't know if Arkansas is confused and they think I'm just going to break the bank. I don't know. Like I don't know. And once again, I'll say this, I'm committed to Utah.
Who just hired a coach 7 days ago.
So real quick, I'm going to pause this, and I'm going to kind of speak on that situation a little bit. Kyle Whittingham resigned from Utah. Utah is doing a private equity deal, and Kyle Whittingham had been there ever since Urban Meyer had left and done a lot of good things for Utah, really guided them through a lot of change and controversy as far as, switching conferences and moving up to a power conference. So Kane Archer goes to Utah, which is a good program. I mean, I really have no complaints about the way Utah is ran. It seems to be a good developmental program. You're not going to get a bunch of 4- and 5-star guys at Utah, but you will get is a program that has the ability to turn those 2- and 3-stars into 4- and 5 stars. And they always compete at a high level. I think they won 10, maybe 11 games. Let's pull up their schedule real quick. Let's see. I like to use ESPN. So we'll just click on this. Yeah, they won their bowl game without their... I know they had a head coach in waiting, but obviously with the head coach leaving, there's always a lot of noise going on in the locker room. So it was really impressive that they were able to dominate Nebraska the way they did. Like I said, Nebraska had a more talented team than Utah, but that really did not matter in the least. So let's see, there's 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 games. So they won 11 games. So this would be ideally, just looking at it from a neutral perspective, if I were a kid that was wanting stability after having gone through Arkansas's offensive coordinator getting fired, Gus Malzahn leaving to go to Florida State, and Arkansas moving on from Bobby Petrino, I'd be looking for anything to kind of just anchor me down. And, because kids want to play, but they also want to, they want to be a part of something, and a lot of people don't like change. It's a very chaotic world we're living in the transfer portal, and I really wish somebody would step in and kind of guide us through all of this, because I don't feel like all of this turnover is sustainable, and I don't feel like it's a good thing for the fans or for the players or for the university. Some of the players get paid a lot of money, a ton of money, life-changing generational wealth, but the vast majority of kids are not going to see that near as much money. So that degree and that education, and one thing about it is, like I said, if you're an Arkansas kid and you go to Arkansas, I'm pretty sure you don't have to buy a drink or have to worry about, standing in line at the DMV or, there's benefits, obviously. A ton of former players, they stick around, they join a media group like 4th and 5, or they start, as you can see with Peyton Hillis on the news. Arkansas really likes to take care of their own. But I kind of wanted to let's get back to the video. Sorry, I got off track real quick. So let's listen.
Yeah. See, that's
all I got.
See, okay, that's another thing. Like, you're going to need consistency if you're going to win. And so you would look at the situation like, do I think this head coach is going to be here in 2 years?
Right.
So I think Silverfield is going to be here in 2 years. I love the culture that he's installing in Arkansas. I have my concerns. I'm not on the Silverfield bandwagon completely. I've got to see how this portal class is going to go, and obviously he's going to have to win football games. But so far, from what I've seen and from what's happening on the national scene, I feel like Arkansas is going to be in a lot better place than where they were this year. So just give me 1 second here. So hold on 1 second. We'll start it back up.
Silverfield, the new guy at Utah. I don't even know who's hired at Utah.
Morgan Scaly.
Yeah, so like who's to say, yeah, Arkansas is like.
So yeah, I've watched this, so I kind of just, gave you the rundown of it. It to me, it's hard for me to kind of watch something like this because I just kind of cringe at, a lot of glazing, and I'm not saying Kane Archer doesn't deserve the hype and the glaze. Like I said, he is a top-notch student, athlete, kid, man, whatever you want to call him. He's right at, that line. But my thoughts are, I feel like Arkansas and Kane Archer, they both need each other. I don't think Kane Archer is ready to start in the SEC. I could be wrong, but I feel like if he were to come in and sit behind somebody for 2 years, I feel like he could really shine. I feel like this kid, he would wear that Razorback on his uniform with pride, and he would not give in or, do anything to harm the Razorbacks. I just feel like, it's a really confusing time in college football these days, and this is going to get us to our last point because it's New Year's Eve, and I just wanted to run in here and make this video real quick. I love college football, and I would hate to see the sport I love go down in flames. I don't like where a lot of the sport is headed. I comment on, transfer portal and the state of certain programs across the nation, but I don't like the bidding wars. I don't like the constant turnover. I don't like players and coaches, doing things that could harm their life or their program, But also, I wanted to say, congratulations, Miami. That was an incredible game. Everybody counted Miami out. I had talked to my dad earlier in the day, and I said, man, I really feel like Miami is going to win this game. And sure enough, they did, and that always gives me a good feeling. I didn't make a video on it, so I can't claim that I knew something, but, it always feels good. I think Ohio State and the Big Ten, and really, a bunch of other schools are just a teeny weeny bit overglazed. But anyway, I want y'all to have a happy new year. There's a lot of change coming, so hold on to who you are, your loved ones, your family. Just let's all do this together. We're all in it together. Thank y'all. If you could, like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks.